When you hear the chorus of birds, the dawn chorus at Hakalau, that's probably the closest you can get to what Hawaii used to sound like.
The smells are different, the wind is different, the sounds are certainly different. It's a different experience.
Eulu kini o Hakalau, o kane me kanaloa, ulua e keia aina, eulu kini, eulu hu. Yola o, yola makoni, mahalo.
The name Hakalau, you could literally translate that a few ways. One way, which is super aligned with the purpose of this place now, and what we find in this place right now, is many perches. Haka is something that a bird might alight upon, and lau can mean a really, really big number of something. So a whole ton of perches is one way to translate that, and that's certainly appropriate. This place has such a high density of native forest birds to this day that makes sense.
It's an LGB, little green bird.
Oh yeah, I see it. Oh, it is flying away. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
I saw it.
You need to get a better look. We hopefully will get a better look.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a privilege to be here in person, because for a while now I've only had audio recordings of this space, this environment. So actually being here in person is really special. Like for someone like me who grew up in Honolulu, and then I come up here and I'm like, this is magical. When I see this, to me, this is just, all I see is just thriving. But then at the same time, you being here, from the beginning, you've seen the growth, but you also see like the danger.
The Hawaiian honeycreepers all evolved from one colonization of a finch-like bird that got to Hawaii about 5.5 million years ago and evolved into almost 60 different species of Hawaiian honeycreepers. There's 17 species left. So in the past 150 years, we've lost a great number of species. So I've been in Hawaii for a little over 50 years. Since that time, 7 species that I saw are now extinct. There's a lot of threats for Hakalau forest. Some of the biggest threats are habitat loss, but there's also predators such as rats, mongoose, cats are huge predators on the native forest birds. And then avian diseases such as avian malaria and avian pox. Those mainly are the 3 reasons why we've lost the Hawaiian honeycreepers. The Hakalau forest is one of the last areas for protection of native forest birds. Just about all of the birds are either stable or increasing, whereas most of the other areas in the state, they're in decline. When I first moved here in the early 70s, mosquitoes were at about 3,000 feet. You didn't see native birds in the forest below 3,000 feet. Slowly that zone of death is moving uphill. So now it's between 4,500 and 5,000 feet. Kauai is only 5,000 feet. Molokai, Lanai, Oahu, they're only 5,000 feet. So the mosquitoes have overtopped and basically just about wiped out the birds. 30, 35 years ago, if you were driving down this road, there'd be gorse scratching the side of the car as you came down. Native birds cannot exist on gorse, so we have to have the native forest. And the only way it's going to come back is to get rid of gorse and plant trees.
So I've been really lucky to inherit this baton from the people who worked here before and the volunteers who sort of built the refuge up to be to this point. And so I'm really lucky to continue that work of forest restoration and habitat restoration for our endangered birds and insects and everything that calls this forest home. Nearly every tree that goes through this greenhouse has been touched at one point by a volunteer, and it takes all of us in order to do this work. And it's been 40 years of volunteers coming and creating everything you see around you. All the forest that we have wouldn't exist if it was just us doing it.
We've lost a lot of our bird community over time for various reasons, and of course the forest has declined significantly in most low elevation areas, and so Hakalau represents kind of the last, it's sort of the last remnant of what Hawaii used to look like. Kids will come up here and just let out shrieks of joy, just experiencing just the chorus around them. You know, it's just completely unlike anything you would hear anywhere else.
So the students get to see up close and personal these birds that you can't see anywhere else. Yeah, in Akiapola'au, that at one point, we were pretty scared to their numbers. And we're really lucky. We got to hold this bird. And now they have this aloha for this bird that's a part of them, this endangered bird, and they're telling its story.
In the past, when I would do bird tours, we'd bypass this whole area and go down maybe half a mile. That's where we would start birding because there was nothing here. We have 65 miles of fence. 65? Yeah, that have to be inspected monthly.
For every species we lose a part of us and the place and what makes Hawaii, Hawaii. And there's a long cultural history of living alongside of these birds and these plants and them being integrated into your daily life. We have some plants we care for, like our native mints, that we don't even know the names of them anymore. They became so rare and so disconnected for so long from the people that knowledge is gone, and we might not see it down in Hilo or in Honolulu. When a species goes extinct, it's often quietly.
The landscape of Hawaii has changed tremendously, right? Since humans have been here, Native Hawaiians, people who came later. We do a thing as a species where we change the world around us to meet our needs, and we're very, very good at that. But that means that sometimes other things get in the way and other things are lost. And being in places like this where we can get a little bit of a glimpse as to what it felt like 1,000 years ago makes me wonder how things are supposed to be.
It turns out that the most pessimistic projections for the birds on Kauai actually came true. And I was really surprised about that because I'm by nature an optimist, and usually I find the line that gives them projection to live the longest, and that's the one I'm going to go with. The mosquitoes, they came up into the Alakai faster than was, it was the worst case scenario that happened. And so these populations, birds that were common there not long ago, you cannot hear them anymore. Now, last time I went there, I saw akeke'e just on one of the major trails on the Alakai. That was 10 years ago. And you can't see akeke'e anywhere in the Alakai anymore. There might be 6 birds left.
How does it feel to know this bird you saw in the Alakai swamp 10 years ago may never be seen in the wild again?
Makes it. Yeah, it just makes you want to cry. For sure. It's incredibly sad. I mean, these birds made it for millions of years.
Good, we're getting a little bit of birdsong. Amakihi just sang, Here in Elapayo over here, Evie in the back over there. The undertail coverts are white.
Yeah,
Yeah, apapane. So I always tell the kids, you know, if you see a red bird with white undies, that's an apapane. And someday, soon, probably the next 10 or 15 years, this gap right here will be gone. And it'll all be native plants, which is neat because the birds utilize those native plants.
It's not just, you're not just sustaining the bird population, you're actually reversing the effects. So you're growing the population, you know, and you're not just preserving it. I mean, so that's, to me, that's so encouraging.
Yeah, what are we going to leave behind? What kind of a legacy are we leaving behind?
O hi'a a me ke koa. Ke koa pi I mauna. Ke koa.
Mom, can you please come back here one day?
Ai.
E ku ho'o hei au I ka manu I ka pua eu I ka ukia elekei. A pili ka umanu I ke pau ulu ako koko a mamane. Ulu ka io I ka puko ko kaua hale. Po'o manu a maka manu e heu manu pua manu vavai manu hulu manu I o manu e ka ewa iki e. Ho mai he lau manu, nā a ko'u I ka wili I e ka manu, po ka lehua I ka hukini e.